Hello students, today in this presentation we are going to discuss about the diode introduction from chapter 2, diode and their applications from subject basic electronics. Now before going for the construction of the diode, we will discuss the basic things, that is about the extrinsic semiconductors. Now you must be knowing that the intrinsic semiconductors are pure semiconductors like silicon, and if in that pure or intrinsic semiconductors if we add some impurities, then there forms two types of extrinsic semiconductors. So whenever we add impurities in the pure semiconductors, that is intrinsic semiconductors, it forms extrinsic semiconductors. And the extrinsic semiconductors are basically of two types depending upon the addition of the impurities. It is of p type and n type. As you know that if the impurity which you are adding are the materials with the valence electrons with the valence electrons, then the semiconductors are called as p type of semiconductors. So in p type of semiconductors, basically there are large number of holes and very few electrons. So as you can say, there are two types of carriers in extrinsic semiconductors basically. So one is majority carriers and one is minority carriers. So in p type of semiconductors, holes are majority carriers and electrons are minority carriers. And in n type of semiconductors, the valence electrons of the impurities are basically 5. So that means it is adding up the electrons. So such type of semiconductors are called n type of semiconductors. And depending upon the majority carriers, so in n type of semiconductors, electrons are the majority carriers and holes are the minority carriers. So there are large number of electrons in n type of semiconductor and little holes in n type of semiconductors. As you can see here, the black dot in n type of semiconductors and the holes are shown by black dots. And so finally we can understand that there are two types of extrinsic semiconductors, p type and n type, and p type are having large number of holes and very little electrons, and n type are having large number of electrons and very little holes. So these are two types of extrinsic semiconductors. But it is not possible to manufacture any device using only p type or n type of semiconductors. So what they did is, the p type and n type of semiconductors, they joined together to form p-n junction diode. So p type of semiconductor and n type of semiconductors are constructed in such a way that they are joined, and where they have joined, they form a junction of p and n, and that is called as p-n junction. So there is a special technique to form a junction, and that junction is known as p-n junction. So this is how p-n junction diode is formed. So we can say that semiconductor diode, so definition, you can say diode, it is actually a two-terminal device, and the current will flow only in one direction through this device, and this unidirectional behavior is called rectification, and it is used to convert AC to DC. That we'll see later on. But diode is a two-terminal device which allows the current to flow in one direction. So this is the block of your semiconductor diode, the construction details. P and N type of extrinsic semiconductors are joined, and the terminals are taken out, one from P side and one from N side. And here is the symbol of diode, you can see. So this PN junction diode is shown in this way. This is a symbol of diode. So from P type, the terminal, that is called as anode, and from N type, the which terminal is taken out, it is called as cathode. So anode is shown with plus sign and cathode is shown with minus sign. So here you can see PN junction construction. So P type material, N type material, and where they get connected, there a junction is formed, that there in that junction a depletion layer is formed. That depletion layer is shown here, as well as the schematic symbol is shown. And when you will see the real component of diode in the laboratory, the last C figure you have to see, it is like this. It is of black color, and you have a silver ring, stripe mark cathode, it is there, silver ring on one side. So that is cathode side, and the other one is anode. Okay, now we will try to understand how the PN junction layer is formed, or a depletion layer is formed, when P type of semiconductor and N type of semiconductor are constructed together. So here you can see in the figure a P type of semiconductor and an N type of semiconductor. So here as you can see, the P type of semiconductor is having large number of holes and very few electrons, and N type of semiconductor is having large number of electrons on one side and very few holes. And it consists of N side consists of large number of electrons and very few holes. So when P type and N type are connected together, there is a special technique, and connected together. So what happens is, at one side, so you can see on P side there are large number of holes. So positive charges, concentration of holes, that is the positive charges are more on P side, and there are large number of electrons, that is negative charges, on N side. So there is concentration gradients here. So concentration gradients means anything which is positive charge is large on one side. So they try to balance the thing. So concentration gradients is there, and then what happens is, as there are large number of electrons on N side, they diffuse, or they will move on towards P type, as the concentration there is less, negative charges are less on P side. So the free electrons from N side will diffuse to the P side and recombines with the hole present there near the junction. So you can see here each electron diffusing into the P side. So here these electrons, when are coming into the P side, diffusing inside the P side, there electrons diffuse into the P side, leave behind a positive immobile ion as shown in the figure, because they are moving and they are getting recombined with the holes, and there is no charge on that now. So it is completely immobile ion on the N side, and it is shown with a positive mark, as you can see, with a circle. And due to the recombination process, a large number of positive ions accumulate near the junction on N side, and a large number of negative immobile ions will accumulate near the junction on the P side, because these holes will try to move towards N side, and while diffusing they recombine with electrons, and a negative ion, immobile ion, is formed on P side, as you can see here in the figure. So these are the immobile ions with no charge. There are no positive charge, neither negative charge, and because of this there are negative immobile ions on P side and positive immobile ions on N side. the negatively charged ions on the p side will start repelling the electrons which attempt to diffuse in the p side, and after some time the diffusion will stop completely. So this negative ions and positive ions will try to repel the carriers. So negative will repel the negative charges and positive ions will repel the positive charges. And at this point a junction is said to have attained an equilibrium. So now neither the electrons can diffuse through this depletion region towards any other side, or neither the holes can diffuse through this junction or depletion region to the n side, and this state is an equilibrium state. So now we will understand the formation of depletion region. We have already understood. So depletion region is the region where there are immobile ions and no free charges carriers such as electrons or holes. So as there are no free charge electrons, it is depleted, and therefore it is called as depletion region. It is very small as compared to p and n region. Now I will try to understand the potential barrier or junction potential which is developed across depletion region. Now as you know that depletion region is having immobile ions, one completely negative ions on one side and positive ions on one side. And since there are positive ions and negative ions in this depletion region, the electric field is created across the junction, and this electric field is known as barrier potential or junction potential. So the barrier potential is measured in volts. So there is a small electric field in this depletion region, and that is called as barrier potential. The barrier potential for silicon is 0.6 to 0.7 volts, and the barrier potential for germanium is 0.2 to 0.3 volts. So this is all about the formation of the depletion region and the electric field across the p-n junction diode. So when diode is constructed, so when the p-n junction is formed, there is always a depletion region and electric field setup, that is potential barrier is always there in that diode. Now in the next slide we will try to understand ki if after the construction of the diode and the depletion region, how we are going to connect the power supply or the voltages across the diode so that we can use it for any application. So now the next topic is diode biasing. So biasing means basically to connect power supply or voltage source to the device. So when a diode is formed, a single p-n junction is formed. Now since there is a potential barrier, we have to connect the power supply or voltage source to the diode for current to flow. There are two ways in which we can connect the power supply or voltage source to the p-n junction diode. So when we apply the power supply, it is called as biasing. So there are two methods in which we can do biasing of p-n junction diode. So one is forward bias and other one is called as reverse bias. So what do you mean by forward bias and reverse bias, we will see in the next slides. So here you can see the forward biasing of p-n junction diode. So here the arrow is showing the anode and the next terminal is cathode. So when anode of the diode is connected to positive terminal of the battery or power supply or voltage source, and the negative terminal of the battery or power supply voltage source is connected to the cathode of diode, it is called as forward biasing of diode. And at that time the current flows through diode, and that current is called as forward current, and the voltage which is developed across diode is called as forward voltage. Now this is the circuit diagram of the diode, p-n junction diode in forward bias mode. And here operation of the forward bias diode is shown. You can see when positive terminal of the battery is connected to P type of diode, that is anode, then the holes are repelled by the positive terminal of the battery, and the holes will try to move through this depletion layer region towards N type of semiconductor. And negative terminal of the battery is connected to the N type of semiconductor, and the electrons, which are majority carriers in N type, are repelled by this negative terminal of the battery, and they will try to move towards P type through the narrow depletion region. Now, because of this battery, the holes will try to move through the depletion layer, enter into the depletion layer, and try to convert the negative ions into neutral atoms, and the electrons will convert the positive ions inside the depletion layer into the neutral atoms. As a result of this, the width of the depletion region decreases, and as the width will decrease, the electric field across the depletion region also decreases, and therefore more majority carriers, that is holes from P side and electrons from N side, moves through the diode, and therefore a large current is flowing through PN junction, and this is called forward current. The PN junction does not permit the current to flow until the external bias voltage overcomes the barrier potential VB. The external bias voltage should be greater than the barrier potential for the current to flow. So that means as the diode is formed, there is electric field across the depletion layer. So if it is silicon, then it is 0.7 volts. So the voltage supply or the power supply which you are connecting across the diode should be more than 0.7 volts, then only the current will flow through diode. So as soon as the applied external voltage overcomes the barrier potential, the current will start flowing. So there is a potential drop across the conducting forward bias diode, which has opposite polarity to the barrier potential but has magnitude which is approximately equal to the barrier potential. So basically the voltage drop is equal to 0.7 for silicon and 0.3 for germanium. So this is all about voltage drop across diode in forward bias mode. So now we will consider the diode in reverse bias mode. So here you can see the circuit diagram. The anode is connected to negative terminal of the battery and cathode is connected to positive terminal of the battery. And when you do this connection, reverse bias of PN junction is formed. So the reverse current will flow through the diode, but it is very small, approximately equal to 0, and that reverse current is represented by IF or IS, sorry, IR or IS. Now this is the operation of the junction diode in reverse bias mode. Here you can see, as you know that P type of semiconductors are having large number of holes, that is majority carriers, and less number of electrons, minority carriers, and N type large number of electrons as majority carriers and small number of holes as minority carriers. So when you connect the battery, so negative terminal of the battery is connected to P type and positive terminal of the battery is connected to N type, and this negative terminal of the battery attracts all the holes, all the holes from P type of semiconductor, and this positive terminal attracts all electrons from N type of semiconductor. So you can see the direction of the majority carriers flowing. It is shown by the arrow, your holes and free electrons. As the electrons and holes are moved away from the junction, so they are moving away from the junction, the depletion layer is increased, and because of this a more number of positive and negative immobile ions are formed across the junction. And you can see as the depletion layer increases, the electric field across the depletion layer also or region also increases. That means the barrier potential is increased in depletion region because of the widening of the depletion region. But what happens is, as the depletion layer is increased, the majority carriers are attracted, but the minority carriers in p-type, that is electrons, will move through the depletion layer towards n region, and the minority carriers in n-type, that is holes, will move through the depletion layer towards p-type, and there is a small current in the diode, and it is all because of the minority carriers, and that current is called as reverse saturation current, represented by IR or IS, and the current is very small, typically in microamperes. So this is all about the PN junction diode in forward bias mode and PN junction diode in reverse bias mode. So this is all about the video for today. Thank you.